Okay. Hmm. Got that done. Shalom. Hi, Devin. How are you? Shalom to you. All right. All right. Oh, come on. All right. There we go. Shalom, family. All right. I am so behind on everything. My day has been completely off, y'all. It's been off from the time I woke up until now. Man, I tell you, I mean, everything that has happened was not bad, but it wasn't all the way good either. So I was just dealing with a lot. I know I missed a premiere. I was supposed to do this an hour ago. It seems like every time I should be on here, something happened and it just kept me away. So, but this story I'm very determined to do. Um, as far as these ICE agents are concerned, I really want to get this done. I did not want to forego this story. Okay, we'll just give it a few more minutes for people to come in before getting started. Okay, let's see if I can get it on here. Okay, where is it? Let me see if I can do a search here. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can share my screen and still see you. I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try. All right, see if I can try this again. Time. Here we go. Boy, it must be a lot of people on here today. Shalom, everybody. If you're just coming into the chat, shalom. Okay. Right. Is everything grayed out? Shalom, family. Yeah, I have a different view from you, Devin. I actually see 98, and that's because I can see both channels at once on my end, and you can only see the channel that you are in. So if you're on my main channel, that's really all you can see. If you're on my secondary channel, you'll see a whole different number. All right, why is it hanging here? It shouldn't be hanging. Downloads. All right, it's not letting me pull up this picture that I wanted to show y'all, but that's okay. It just means I can't see you. You'll be able to see, but I won't be able to see you, but that's okay. We'll make do. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, give me a 1 if you can see my screen, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the screen, please give me a 1. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Down in Mississippi, the ICE agents are rounding up illegal Africans, but they're doing something that we haven't even heard they've done to the Mexicans. They are torturing Africans into signing their own deportation orders. Now, usually, if they come from a country where the citizens are not safe and there's a lot of persecution, they're not supposed to send people like that back. And I didn't know until recently that the Cameroonian government kills a lot of citizens. I had no idea that was happening, but it is happening. So in a case like that, technically, you're not supposed to send those people back because they may get killed just for the simple fact that they've left the country trying to seek, shelter somewhere else. Well, so far they're saying Mississippi, but I'm kind of leery that it's just happening in Mississippi. I bet this is more widespread than you think. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an article that came out in The Guardian, October 22nd, 2020. U.S. ICE officers use torture to make Africans sign own deportation orders. And if you are an African, I wish I could say racism would not happen to you in America. But as you can see, it does. It does. Because at the end of the day, what it's all about is that dark melanated skin. And it doesn't matter if you're from the islands, Africa, South America, America, you know what they do to us in America. Well, you're not going to always be spared. And we have seen how cops even handled some of these Africans. So they don't escape racism because they left Africa and came here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. U.S. immigration officers allegedly tortured Cameroonian asylum seekers to force them to sign their own deportation orders in what lawyers and activists describe as brutal scramble to fly African migrants out of the country and run up to the election. So they're ramping this up actually because it's getting closer to election time. And the Cameroonians are not the only Africans they have been going after either. Many of the Cameroonian migrants in Mississippi detention center refused to sign, feared death at the hands of the Cameroonian government forces responsible for widespread civilian killings, and because they had asylum hearings pending. According to multiple accounts, detainees were threatened, choked, beaten, pepper sprayed, and threatened with more violence to make them sign. Several were put in handcuffs by immigration and custom enforcement ICE officers, and their fingerprints were taken forcibly in place of the signature on documents called stipulated orders of removal, by which the asylum seekers waive their rights to further immigration hearings and accept deportation. So this is all by force and by torture. Lawyers and human rights advocates said there had been a significant acceleration of deportations in recent weeks, a trend they see as linked to the looming elections and the possibility that ICE could soon be under new management. The abuse we are witnessing, especially right now against Black immigrants, isn't new. So they've been doing this for a long time to Black immigrants, torturing them, beating them, threatening them to sign their deportation orders just to throw them out of here. They've been doing this to Africans. Okay, so they said this isn't new, but it is escalating. In late September, early October of this year, we began to receive calls on our hotline from Cameroonians and Congolese immigrants detained in ICE prisons across the country, and they are being subjected to threats of deportation, often accompanied by physical abuse. Now, it's not hard to believe that they would do this. Look at how they've been abusing us from chattel slavery all the way up until now. So, no, it's not hard to believe. It's easy to believe. And pardon me, y'all, I can't see y'all when I'm on full screen. All right, so a plane carrying 60 Cameroonians and 28 Congolese asylum seekers was quietly flown out of Fort Worth. And that was on October 13th to deliver them to their home country. The chartered planes did not release a flight plan, but it was tracked by immigration rights group Witness at the Border, which it stopped in Senegal Cameroon, and then Congo. And then it landed in Kenya, and it came back to Texas. The Cameroonian detainees were from a country English-speaking minority, which has been the target of widespread abuses, including extrajudicial killing. So apparently over there, the government is sanctioning a lot of the killing on the citizens. So usually in a case where your life is in danger through the government, those people are not supposed to be deported. The Trump administration cut the country's trade privileges at the end of this year because of persistent abuses. Most of the deportees on the flight had testified that they had suffered detention without charge and torture at the hands of the Cameroonian military and had relatives who had been killed. They were detained for questioning on arrival. So this, when they returned back, they were now being interrogated within their countries. But some were freed after their family paid bribes and have since gone into hiding. That's a damn shame. So one of the lawyers said, "We have no knowledge of what happened to those that were deported. We know they arrived, but we haven't heard what happened after they arrived at the airport." The Cameroonian embassy in Washington did not reply to several requests for question. Detainees and their lawyers have been told that there will be another deportation flight in the coming days, possibly as early as this coming Friday. One of the Cameroonians, when they were being tortured, told the ICE agents, "I can't breathe." Because remember, they are choking these people. Cameroonians are routinely denied asylum or parole in the U.S. Immigration Court, which is run by the Justice Department. So they're saying the majority of the time when people come over here from Cameroon, they get turned away and have to go back to their country. America won't take them. Victims, family members, lawyers, and human rights activists have described a range of coercive measures used by ICE on the Cameroonian detainees at Adams County Correctional Center in Mississippi to make them sign their own deportation orders. A complaint filed by FFI and the Southern Poverty Law Center cites 8 cases of forced signatures or fingerprints on stipulated orders of removal. One of those involved, identified as BJ, said that on September 27th, ICE officers pepper sprayed his eyes and strangled him almost to the point of death. "I kept telling them I can't breathe. I almost died." As a result of the physical violence, they were able to forcibly obtain my fingerprint on the document, BJ said. Another detainee, known as DF, said that he was ordered to sign his deportation orders by an ICE agent on September 28th. "I refused to sign. He pressed my neck into the floor. Please, I can't breathe. I lost my blood circulation. Then they took me inside with my hands at my back where there was no cameras," he said. According to the account, he was then taken to a punitive wing of the Adams County Center known as Zulu. So they got a wing in an American detention center that they call Zulu, and subjected to further assault. So they took him in the part of this detention center where there was no cameras, and they proceeded to beat this man up. Look, they do this stuff to us. So nobody should be surprised they're doing this to foreign blacks. They put me on my knees where there was, and they were torturing me, and they said they were going to kill me. They took my arm and twisted it. They were putting their feet on my neck. While in Zulu, they did get my fingerprint on my deportation documents and took my picture, he said. DF was one of the detainees on October 13th flight to Cameroon. It was unclear about what has happened to him since. A third detainee, CA, said he was forced to the ground, sat on, handcuffed, pepper sprayed. I was crying, I can't breathe, because they were forcibly on top of me, pressing their body weight on top of me. My eyes were so hot. I was dragged across the floor, he said. The officers told me to open my eyes. I couldn't. My legs and hands were handcuffed. They forcibly opened my palm. Some of my fingers were broken. They forced my fingerprint onto the paper. CA was taken off the October 13th flight, but still faces deportation. This is happening here in the US. 2 Cameroonians were taken off the October 13th deportation flight at the last moment after there was intervention of a human rights advocate through an Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties in the Department of Homeland Security, but they have been told by ICE agents it will not save them from deportation. Patrick, a detainee who had been told he is on the deportation list, said he has not been able to sleep knowing that ICE agents could come for him anytime, and that for him, deportation could well be a death sentence. I live in worry because I don't know what awaits me. I don't know what the next day is going to look like. And will I be taken back home? Patrick told The Guardian in a call from the detention center. He did not want his name used because of the risk of surviving family members. So he was afraid that they would go after his family. His lawyer, Ruth Hargrove, said he actually has a very strong case for asylum, but the problem is he may die before he gets his hearing, because he was supposed to be on that plane that went out last week, and his ICE officer just guaranteed that he will be on the next flight. So we have this ICE spokeswoman, Sarah Loicano, confirmed that the former complaint over use of force against Cameroonian detainees had been submitted to DHS Inspector General. So, that's pretty much what she was saying. ICE is firmly committed. So she's just given a one of those cookie cutter statements. Oh, we care about the detainees and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And look at what you're doing to them. Okay. So for those who have been deported, any reforms to ICE would be too late. And they are currently in no position to give evidence about their treatment in the US. The Texas-based sister of one of the detainees who escaped into hiding after October 13th told The Guardian, "My brother ran away to America thinking that you will be safe in another culture, but they sent him back. And right now he has no life. He's hiding." Wow. He had to go into hiding so the Cameroonian government don't get a hold of him. I mean, this is sick. Now, I know some people will say, well, those are Hamites. Everybody from Africa is not a Hamite. Some of those people are our people. You got to look at what's going on with them and look at the spirit that all of this stuff is happening in. Some of those people are our people, y'all. But yes, I mean, they are torturing and beating and forcing these people out. Now, we saw what they did to the Mexicans. This is totally different. Now, they split their families up. And I heard even some of the children never did get back with their parents. And they threw them in detention centers. And remember, we saw them and they weren't taking showers. The place stunk and they had them all gated in. But we never heard about any torture. Now, these Africans are being taken and they are being tortured physically by these ICE agents. And look, these human rights groups, now that's why I said I don't believe this is just Mississippi, because they said they were getting calls from African migrants all over America reporting abuse. So there's no way. Now the story's about, this happening in Mississippi, but there's no way this is just limited to Mississippi. There's no way. In this world, there are a lot of divisions among our people and foreign Black people, a lot of division. And you got to understand where these divisions came from. These high IQ people don't want us coming together because there's a lot of power in the melanated people on this earth. And they know it. They don't want us coming together. They don't want us to, become one, because they will not be able to deal with that at all. The thought of us coming together here in America alone sends these people over the edge. Now, Black people all over the world coming together, oh, shoot. These people will go out of their mind 100%. But they fear us. They fear us. And that fear is real. No matter what, they know things are changing. They know the way things are is never going to go back to the way it was. There is no vaccine on this planet that's going to take America back to pre-pandemic conditions. It is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, y'all. And Loveline, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. It's not going to happen. All of those Africans, when you think about it, look at these places. The government is killing all of these people over in Cameroon. And we know what happened to the people of the Congo. That place has never been right. That's where King Leopold went. But that's not the only bad thing that has happened over there. Oh, yeah. You're right, Del. Welcome to the new normal. You got that right. Because we are not going back. In fact, I was laughing because I was looking at some comments on a few articles. Sometimes I will just go down and take a peek at the comments. And I would always see, oh, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. This has been horrible. Oh, it's been a terrible year. Y'all, look, it's going to be a terrible year for them in 2021. They ain't seen nothing yet. As each year rolls by, it's actually going to get worse for these people. See, they are out of, Jacob's trouble. That's right, Brenda Hill, for them. We're coming out of our curses. We're not all the way out because, in Revelations, the angels got to come for us. So we're not all the way out, not quite yet. I mean, we are at the end, though. We are very much at the end. And things are happening. Man, if you would have told me this back in 2018 or 2019, what we would be in 2020, I would never have believed you. It just seems like the years were rolling by and nothing was changing. And it seemed like, everything was just getting worse for us. But now it has dramatically changed. This one illness has changed the entire dynamic of a country. They can't even get their economy fully back up and running. They can't, and they want that more than anything. That's why they're always talking about it. Oh, we're going to reopen. Oh, we're going to reopen. And they know they don't have the virus under control. Look, our governor has gone into quarantine here in my state. He got exposed to somebody at a bar, of all places. He went to a bar over the weekend and he got exposed to someone with coronavirus. So he's now quarantining in my state. And he just opened up restaurants and stuff. And it's going up in this state. And just a week ago, he was saying he knows the state eventually will have to shut down again. They want it open so bad. They know coronavirus is all around them and they will try to open up stuff anyway. But see, where I draw the line is where they want to open up to the point where they even want to make our children sick. That's where I draw the line. And I wish our people would not participate in that. They want this place running. They'll risk your health. They'll risk your children's health by sending them back to school. And there's still schools closing down because it was just too much spread among the student staff and, and the teachers. It's not worth it. You can't let them decide what you're going to do. You're going to have to make that decision. The government is not with Black people. They're not with us. They're not looking out for our best interests. Hell, if they could make us the guinea pig for the vaccine trial, if they could figure out a way to do it, they would do it. We would be their preferred choice to go through the vaccine trial. But see, most of us have smartened up. And we're not diving into that stuff. In fact, when you pick up articles, they're actually complaining that there's not enough Black people for the vaccine trial. But hey, you brought that on yourself. Playing with us and experimenting on us in the past have now gotten us to the point we don't trust the government. We don't trust you to the point where you can stick a needle in our arm and we're going to trust what you're giving us. Plain and simple. Oh, the surge is, let me see, I think it said 48 out of 50 states it's surging in. And it's going to be all 50 states soon. Because, people travel. And there's always somebody that's going to travel across state lines and spread that stuff. So there's no way to contain it in the 2 states that, don't have it going up right now. Yeah. I know they said Tuskegee, but there's been far more things done to us other than Tuskegee. You can't forget about all the sterilization that was done on Black women. And to this very day, there are big health care disparities in how, the high IQ get treated and how we get treated. And remember, they still claim that we don't feel pain. They're still on that mess. So it goes well beyond that. And I did a story just a few months ago of how Black children get worse health care in the country than white children. I did that story. So, we just have to sail through this thing. Remember, it's going to get to the point where they're going to wonder how we're getting through because we're going to look so unaffected. But no, we're not out of this yet. We're not out until the angels come and get us. Remember that. And that has not happened yet. So we are still in the captivity until that occurs. We are still in it. Yeah, well, see, they use that, Dell. The police always say that we don't feel pain. They use that as an excuse to torture us and beat on us and claim we're not feeling it. And we know that's true. And even they know it's not true. It is just another way to dehumanize us. That's all that is. Well, at the end of the day, Devin, we don't really want their health care. I mean, look at the junk they got out here. They don't have anything that don't give you a side effect. I kid you not. I had my appendix taken out in 2006. They gave me hydrocodone. All right. I kid you guys not. When I took that pain medicine after my surgery, every single side effect that was on the bottle I had. And I'm not exaggerating. I am telling you the honest truth. I had every single side effect that was listed on that bottle. And prior to that, I would take meds and I wouldn't really feel that much side effects. But it seems like from that point on, something must have changed within me. I don't know if it was hormonal changes or what, but now I can take something and I will feel some of the side effects. It seemed like from that surgery I had on, I now feel the side effects. So I have to be careful about what I take and the amount I take. Now, it got to the point when I was feeling all of the side effects, y'all. At that time in my life, I was a size 10. Okay. I was a size 10, right? By the time I got to the end, I started taking half a dosage, thinking, okay, maybe I can take half and not feel the full effect. It took my appetite away. I went from a size 10. By the time I got finished taking those pills, I was down to a size 6, y'all. And I kid you not, I was down to a size 6. And that happened probably over a 6-week period from taking that stuff. I literally, it tells you a loss of appetite. I couldn't eat nothing. And the few things I ate, I kind of had to force myself to eat it because I had zero appetite. I went all the way down to a size. In fact, my mother, my mother was worried about me because she was still alive back then. She was worried about me because she was like, look, you done got too skinny. You need to get some food in. She said, look, try to eat, try to drink shakes, try to do this, she was trying to give me all these suggestions, eat some soup. And it was of no use. Back then, I was just dropping weight left and right. And it was from the hydrocodone. That's where it was from. So everything they have some sort of side effects. Damn near everything. Even the over-the-counter drugs have side effects too. Well, I did want to change the med. And in fact, I did. He put me from hydrocodone, Brenda Hill, and he gave me oxycodone. And it really didn't make any difference. But I did need something for pain because I had just had surgery and I was still feeling the pain from that surgery. And I think that because of the meds and everything, it it made me to me the healing process was slow for some reason. After I had that last surgery in 2006, the healing process was very slow. But they did switch me. They switched me to oxycodone. Yeah, it does. And I remember when I went to the doctor, I was like, look, this thing has taken my appetite completely away. And what I did with the last bottle, I had got prescribed one more bottle. And I took that bottle and I flushed it. I got rid of it. I think I flushed it in my toilet. I just flushed it. I got rid of it. And then what I did was whenever I felt pain, I had um, some Motrin and some Tylenol at my house. I was just taking that instead. But like I said, what can you take of Esau and it doesn't have side effects? Nothing. And another thing that happened to me, y'all, after I got rid of the last bottle, I literally went through withdrawal symptoms because but at that time I had taken the opioids for over a month and I felt the withdrawal. So that was a terrible experience for me. That was terrible. And that's something I never want to go through again. Yeah, you do get side effects even from Tylenol. That's very true, Heather. You do. Like I said, there's no product they put out. They want to pat themselves on the back for creating science and medicine, which they did not create, but this is what they tell themselves. But everything they do has some sort of downfall to it. It's ridiculous for real. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even take all the meds when I had bronchitis. Y'all, I did not take all the meds they prescribed to me then. I got rid of it just from, just taking vitamins and keeping myself well hydrated, and it finally subsided. But the meds they gave me, I didn't touch those meds. Eventually, I just threw the bottles away because I didn't need what they prescribed to me. Yeah, I mean, look, our people just use the natural herbs on the planet. But see, they use meds because they're trying to make money. That's what it is really all about, money. They don't care what it does to you. They don't care if the medication is destroying you. At the end of the day, it's all about making money. That's why they don't care. They'll still put something on the market and they know it has a lot of dangerous side effects. And they'll just put it out there anyway because it's all about money. And that's exactly what they're going to do with this vaccine that's coming out. You see people getting sick during the trial. You see one dead person in Brazil, right? They're going to ignore all of that and still put that vaccine out because at the end of the day, it's all about making money. So they don't care if they got to sacrifice some people in the process. They could care less. The pharmaceutical companies want money. That's why they're all racing to make a vaccine because they see the money in it, not just here in the US, but globally. All the people that will line up and get that vaccine. They know it. Yeah. One day, I think I was probably still in my late 20s. I asked my family doctor, I said, why don't y'all ever really, really cure anything? And you know what he told me? He said, when we go through med school, the main thing they learn is what pill is for what illness. That's all they know. They know how to sit around and write scripts. They know how to examine you for basic things. But the main thing that your family doctor knows and learned in med school is what pill to give for what ailment. That was the big thing they get taught because at the end of the day, that's the money maker. So they don't care about fixing anything. Why do you think they let high blood pressure linger the way they do? You can resolve high blood pressure, but they keep you on those meds to give you a temporary fix. That's all they do. Thank you, Marie, for the super sticker. There's a lot of things they can resolve, but they choose not to. Yeah, well, Bill Gates needs to take his own vaccines. I ain't thinking about him and his wife. They can kiss my entire black behind as far as I'm concerned. No, they could cure many things, but they don't want to cure it because there's a lot of money in you being hospitalized, you going through treatment, you're going through therapy. They make a ton of money off of that. So they don't care about curing you. Yeah, well, they killed off a lot of the herbalists. If you kept up over the years, a lot of those doctors that were pushing natural herbs, they killed a lot of them off. Yeah, I actually did a story on that, Elena. Yeah. No, I don't want the vaccine. I don't want it. Yeah, remember Dr. Sebi? I sure do. Rosalind, I do remember. I definitely remember. Well, I don't know why Wesley Keys, I don't know why they would do any experiments, especially during this time on Africans when they got the lowest of coronavirus there. Europe and America got the highest. Why would you go all the way to Africa? They can experiment on their own people, but see, that's deep down inside, that's not what they want. They don't care how bad it is in Europe. They don't want to do those experiments on those folks. They prefer to do it on them Africans who they look as worthless. But now even they're catching on to a lot of what's going on as well. Yeah, that's true, Heather. Ginger tea is a natural pain reliever. It sure is. And it's also antibacterial, antiviral. And that's another reason why a lot of people should be drinking that. It's really good. And I can tell you, I've had sore throats, drink ginger tea off and on all day. The next day I wake up, I have no sore throat. It's completely gone. So that's definitely a good thing to have. A natural blood thinner. Yep. Vitamin C is too, believe it or not. hmm Yeah, sometimes it really depends on my mood. Sometimes I can drink the ginger tea plain, and then some days I'll just put a little bit of raw honey in. And even with honey, I just like it lightly sweetened because honey can also be very overpowering if you use too much of it. So you only want a small amount in. Yeah, well, they are toe up that coronavirus is not bad in Africa. Boy, that bothers the hell out of them. I laugh at those stories every time they come out because, those stories are just a bunch of butt sore stories that they did not get to see Africa fall apart over coronavirus, but they themselves are falling apart over it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I didn't want to make this a long live stream at all. I just wanted to get this out of the way. And boy, like I said, my day has been off all day, y'all. It's like, all right, I know I got to get this done. And then every time I tried to get something done, it happened like 3 times. I got distracted onto something else. So go figure, right? All right, family. Wherever you are, may the Most High be with you in all 4 corners of the earth and fulfill all of your needs during the time of judgment on this Gentile world. Peace, family.